Venus, when it's retrograde, she starts the cycle, the major cycle. That the period is 18 months. So when she starts, she goes to the underworld and she starts to get naked of all the identifications. Aphrodite is more than the women that drink piña colada in the sea. She's more than love and fertility. She's the underworld. She's the transformation. She's the evolution.
Welcome to Aphrodite Priestess Podcast, a sacred space to connect with the ancient wisdom of the divine feminine. My name is Eleni. Through my body of work, I want to help you remember, embody, and honor your own divine essence. I am so excited that you're here, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode on Aphrodite Priestess Podcast. I'm here today with Kathrin Lowenthal. Kathrin is an astrologer, a lover of mythology. She is a mother of two amazing boys. She falls in love with her partner every single day, and she has been living on the island of Cyprus since 2016 and cultivating her relationship with the goddess of Aphrodite since then. Kathrin, welcome.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
Me too. I'm so happy to have you here. And I want to share a little bit about our personal story and how we met and how um, the goddess brought us together because I believe that I met you 2 weeks after I purchased the domain name Aphrodite Priestess because I knew I wanted to do something about the goddess to reveal her story and to talk with women that are working with her. And after I bought the domain, and after 2 weeks, somebody talked to me about your work. I was so interested immediately. It was a yes. I contacted you, and on our first session, which was amazing, and I want to dive into more on what you do because it's not traditional astrology. It's a blend, and I want you to talk to us about your work because it's so interesting. But on our first session, you told me you're Aphrodite's priestess, and I was like, I was going crazy. I bought the domain name 2 weeks ago, and that was the moment I said, "Look, I have this idea. Would you like to to have an interview with me?" But that was 1 year ago. But here we are today. We're having this interview. It takes me some time.
It's an honor. I was remembered today that we start 2023, the 1st of January. We went to the temple of Aphrodite, and it
Yes,
was the
we
first
did.
time we met. Yes, and we just
Yes,
follow.
I
Yes,
love
we
that.
just follow our heart. And you came here with your car and take me to the temple. We didn't met before, and we were there. Uh, Contemplated the sunset, and I remember that I tell you, set an intention for the year because this is important for us now. And look how we are finishing the 2023, follow her path or our path at the end, no?
Yes. So, Catherine, I would love to tell us a little bit about your work. Um, the way I experienced it as well was so different from a traditional way of astrology reading. It was a blend of also shamanic ritual and mythology. How you ended up with this fusion?
I arrived here in 2016. I used to live in Germany, and when I arrived to Cyprus, I was heartbroken, and I have a big crisis. I didn't know what to do. Let's say, it was a proposed life crisis, but I felt broken. all that had have sense until this day just stop to have sense. Then I start here a reset. And it was so lovely because the island took me in their arm and I just find and met people that give me love from the beginning. And I feel here, after all of this year, I found the soul, the correct soul to bloom. So I start this seeking of purpose of life. And in this process, I start to make a lot of courses. One of these was astrology, but I love astrology from my childhood. I was really fan of astrology, but I never think on that like in this level of be astrologer until I see the program of shamanic astrology, and I see the program and I say, this is for me. All the program is speaking to me. And okay, I graduate, I make my diploma, and I continues because astrology is so long path. And I did traditional astrology because I like some technique there, and I applied. In this process, I start to feel the need to read more about mythology because until now I just reading about Greek mythology, but somehow Greek mythology is full of violence. I cannot see myself in one goddesses because all of them have this rapture, this violation, and I start to look more, no? And I catch some another mythologies like Sumerian, Egypt, and okay, I start to mix and to flower in them, and I start to and at this moment the diploma in sacred feminine and mythology of women, and I make peace with religion because I start to see Christian and Catholic church in another way. I start to see what happened behind the Virgin, what is the archetype of Virgin indeed, and that is why I told you Virgo is the goddess, is the priestess, because it's when you see the Virgin but in another scenario that is a priestess, what happened before, no? I start to see that is something more than we learn in mythology, in Greek mythology at least. And I fall in love of this history because I can see myself in those archetypes. Also in the patriarchy, because I have this in my body, but also in this will that push from inside to have another reality, to look for freedom, but a real freedom. And I start to learn a lot about archetype, feminine archetype. Then I realized that many men contact me for the reading, and I say to myself, oh no, when I read for a woman, I'm very excited and I extend a lot.
Mm.
But when I read for a man, I have not the same knowledge. And I start another diploma in divine masculine. And I start to see the other face of the divine masculine in this patriarchy history again. So I mix this knowledge of mythology, archetypes, the astrology, and the last one that I put in my package, let's say, the medicine wheel is a tool, shamanic tool. Is the last part of my package just to integrate the information and to move the transgenerational history. It's a kind of receiving information, but at the same time, it's a personal growth.
Wow, what a beautiful story. So interesting. And how did you develop your relationship? Because I know you have developed close relationship with the goddess of the island, with Aphrodite. How did that happen? Was it by you studying the myths or feeling closer to her because she represents love? She also represents war, but in her main characteristics are beauty, love, eros, sensuality, such a feminine goddess.
So I was in the masculine, in the Athena archetype, very masculine, and this is the objective. You need to go there. This is the goal, whatever. When all of this fall down, I realized that some part of me want to emerge, but I don't understand at this moment. When I take this sacred feminine diploma, uh, I saw another part of Aphrodite. And also, when I study astrology, we saw the cycle of Venus in a way that I identify myself there. And I start to see, okay, I have this archetype in the skin, this is part of me, it's a hard part of me, and it's not casual that I'm here, that I am connected with this island that many of people around me didn't know. So I start this exploration from the shamanic cycle of Venus. So when I start to touch this feminine part and leave this masculine, I was crossing maternity the first time. And it was a rite of passage that broke a lot of my way to think in life. And I think this opened the feminine in my life. I start to see, and I will explain now the cycle of Venus because I think from this
Yes.
point you will understand me better. Venus, when it's retrograde, she starts the cycle, the major cycle, that the period is 18 months. So when she starts, she goes to the underworld and she starts to get naked of all the identifications until she go very profound and she face down the dark sister that is our shadow. When we met our dark sister, that is the myth of Inanna and Ishtar, uh, she felt horrible because this dark sister is very hard with us because show all that we don't want to see. And this is a first rite of passage we cross with the cycle. What we are, indeed, what is our essence? What is this part of us that we just close there in the underworld because somebody told us that it was not good or you will not be accepted if you show this part of you. Then,
Kathrin,
slowly, Venus,
can I ask
yes,
something? So the underworld journey happens in specific months of the year, or it changes every year? And how long does
no,
it last?
it changed. It is 19 days and it's all the retrogradation of Venus and it change of sign. For example, now we are under the cycle of Venus in Leo that will change next year. So it is
So
depending.
for both of us that we have Venus in Leo, how does it affect us or not? It has nothing to do
Of
with where
course,
Venus is
because it's
placed.
a major, yes, it's a major cycle that affect your natal Venus, but it affects all people around, even
Okay.
men or women, because Venus, what happened with her is she opened the door to evolution, to the future, for men and for women. But okay, we feel more than men in this case. And when you go to the underworld, we experience crisis. If you're looking to your past in July, or the people that are seeing this podcast, you will realize that from July to August 2023, maybe you experience a kind of crisis of direction, of meaning of life, of what do you want to do now. It is depending of where do you have your Venus or where is Leo in your natal chart. What is the area that asks you to think different, to open another door. So all of this retrogradation was to reflecting, to see how our identification fall down and to not attach, just to flow and to honor. Because something that I realize is, or either we try to go to the future without see behind, and this is not the real integration, or we attach to this identification and we start to suffer because okay, we attach all of this and all of this identification want to fall down. So then she started this phase. This second one is the morning start, is when Venus, when you see to the sky, you see Venus and then you see the sun. It has a lot of meaning in the societies there in Costa Rica and Mexico, for example, because they think in this moment when it happened, it announced the war. What we experience with this energy is the solar feminine, the solar part of the feminine energy. That is this energy that is the coaching energy, is the energy that push off to, okay, I see all of this in the underworld. Okay, what I will do now to build again new structures, new meaning, new goals, and all of this path is 9 months. We are now in this path, like with Venus, like morning start. Then in May, we will have the, let's say, the underworld. In my case, was Germany. It was very hard for me, but then the morning start, which was Cyprus, when I arrived here and I just start to create a plan and so on. Then we have the third part that is the alchemy. It will happen this cycle in June, beginning of June. And in the alchemy, you work for 9 months in your meaning, in your goal, and your solar energy is a bit tired. And you know that some part of you need to disattach, you need to let go. And this is the part you surrender yourself in front of the sun and you give all of this to them in a way of honor the fire. You put in the fire all that you don't need anymore. But you keep in your heart what is the wisdom you take from this path. Then start the last part of the cycle, that is the evening start. And it's the part of not running, just enjoy. Enjoy the wisdom, enjoy what you worked before, enjoying your new self until Venus start to retrograde and the cycle start again. I felt all of this time here that I experienced two cycle of Venus in Leo, that when you work in this cycle, life change because you can see that you start but you finish something that in one time you push all your energy, but there are another times that you need to surrender. that you have times to go out and showing up, but there is another time that you need the cave and you need to enjoy what you work out. It's very
This is so
beautiful. It's
interesting.
an
Yeah,
own rhythm.
this is so interesting, and is not so popular. Nobody talks. I, f- I feel from your description now, because I'm aware of the cycle of Venus, and but I never applied it to myself to work with it like I work with my cyclical nature, for example, to work with Venus in this way. And I felt as you were talking that this Venus, just to stay in sync with Venus, is a very feminine thing to do, and it's something that as women is good to start noticing, right? This is what the message that came through me, that is going to help a lot our transitions and our emotional or entrepreneurial goals if we stay in sync with the Venus planet.
Yes, because with the Venus planet, with this cycle, you start to understand in your life how works or how emerge your solar feminine and your moon feminine energy that are two
Yes.
different. The one that need to push out the process, that need to take action, creative actions, but you have the other that need the space to be in the dark, and all of this is part of is part of us.
From your experience following this cycle in your personal life, how did it help you? What have you discovered that you would like to share?
What I realize is we work with a lot of feminine archetype at the same time. The first door we should open is the moon because it's our first approach to the feminine energy. But then, when you feel okay with this energy, with the moon energy, that is our soul and our gift and everything, we can open another archetype from the subtle world, from the love way, you know? And when it happens, you can use Venus and your natal Venus and the cycle of Venus to set an intention of growing. Not only earthy intentions like I want to have more money, I want to have a couple, but also spiritual intentions. What I want to cross this cycle. For example, if I have a hard relationship with my mother, if I had a hard relationship with myself, I set the intention in the underworld and then I work on this intention throughout all the cycle because every month we have the opportunity to synchronize ourselves with this powerful energy of the cycles that makes the moon and Venus. And what I realized from my experience is, first of all, that all start and all finish, and this gives me peace because I feel somehow that
I
I'm
love
in
it.
a process that will finish somehow. The second is every time that I'm aware, I open a door of myself that I never saw that it will be so amazing, but I have the passion and love to cross this door. Because I know from my natal chart and from the energy as well what is asking for me this time, this energy. In case people doesn't have clue because don't know about astrology, it's good to have just the tool to synchronize yourself with your intuition, with the synchronicity, with what is happening right now in your life and what how this mirror around you are asking to see what one part of yourself that is in the shadow or that it hurts you. And for me is amazing tool.
Beautiful. And I know that you're writing a book at the moment about about Venus, and would you like to share a little bit about that?
I think I shared it, but I
You
didn't say
did?
that it was a book. um,
How?
well, this book starts with the EC in the Diploma of Sacred Femininity. I started to write about Aphrodite, about some ancient places here and how I feel and what I channel in there. And I was so excited that they say, okay, I want to publish this. But then I started to think in making more bigger, more profound. And it coming to me to do the cycle of Venus from my history, from my story. So I start from the beginning, from the underworld. Oh my God, and I touch some history of my life so hard, and I stop it because I need time to breathe and to go
Mm,
with sovereignty, again to
yeah.
write. And then I remember it was funny the synchronicity. I start to write about how I cross or how I start to cross the labyrinth, and I fall down in this part because it was my part
Mm,
when I was living in Venezuela before departure to Germany. And then I went to Glastonbury in the Maria Magdalena peregrinage, the path of Maria Magdalena.
mhm.
So I literally walk the labyrinth there, and I say to myself, okay, this is why you stop the book here, because you need to feel the experience to cross with your feet a labyrinth, and all start to have sense. All it's like I saw my life from the sky, and then everything have the point, like when you are kid and you play this, that you
Yes,
union the
yes, yes.
points
Connected.
connected, yes. And I say to myself, okay, I'm ready, but I will do it in my own rhythm. I will not push myself with this solar energy, and I will leave the emotions calm down, and then I return to them. So the book is about the cycle, not in a specific archetype of the astrology, just the cycle. And my first experience with this cycle, how I live each part of the cycle.
Wow. So it's a blend of your own personal cycle with an example. That's beautiful.
And the
Yeah.
mythology. Because what I
Mm-hmm.
want to express now uh, is not deny the mythology we learn, but just to open the curiosity to another part, another door of mythology. And what I want to the people see about Aphrodite is she's more than the women that drink piña colada in the sea. She's more than love and fertility. She's the underworld. She's the
Mm,
transformation. She's the evolution. And she crossed many dark places of her part, of her goddess's part. And also she took wrong decisions. But this is part of the path, of the growth path.
yeah. My hair go up as I hear you speaking because she's the beauty, but she's also the ugly. She is the sun, but she's also the moon, and she's the love, but she's also this sacred rage. And what I keep hearing is purity. That all of her is pure, and that all of women is pure. And to remove the body shaming or the need to always be nice, to always look nice, to always act accordingly, this underworld energy that she asks me also to bring it to the surface because it's needed to to be whole in ourselves, in to feel home within us.
Yes, I think it's a path of authenticity. To be
Mm,
okay with the way you look, with the way you feel, with the way you dream, with all the part
mm,
of you. to be okay with that
Yes.
without
Hmm.
comparison.
Yes, exactly. I wanted to ask you, Catherine, have you found anything during your research um, that maybe surprised you or you were a little bit shocked that you didn't know?
The first that shocked me was the underworld part because I really didn't expect that. And it came from Egypt mythology, not from Greek mythology, but have all the sense in the archetype. And every time I visit one ancient place here related to Aphrodite, I feel things on my body, and I start to have such a dreams that are so clear, like I can fly and cross different times. I give my blood in many temples here with the intention to open my heart, to open my eyes to the signal, the synchronicity, and I feel her deep, and I start to trust more in myself, in what I feel when I visit her. And it surprised me because I fly away of my intellectual mind and I start to feel my body and my intuition in a different way.
Like a cellular memory waking up and the reconfirmation that you were meant to return to your essence in
Yeah.
this way.
Before finish, I want
Yes, I was
to
going to
say
ask you, do
something.
you want to share something? Yes.
Something that I feel it impressed me, but at the same time I feel challenged is the memory of Aphrodite, according to Greek mythology at least, uh, has something of fighting between women. The goddesses fight between them is not sisterhood at all because everybody is
Mm,
fighting themselves. And what I feel now is, and the challenge is to clean this competition into our gender, the possibility to stay with another woman and look at her eyes and feel secure and feel that you are not in danger because we have a past history of many pain in our back, that I feel the challenge part is to work in that, in the sisterhood, from the
yes.
Aphrodite, from the erotism, from the sensuality, from the acceptance.
I really love this. I really love this. Thank you for sharing this. And I feel 100% aligned with this. And also, what I want to add here is to stay with each other, also in the underworld. My wish is for women to be able to stay and heal the sister wound in the light, but also in the dark, to stay open when something is not so light, um, to each other and to ourselves, to our heart. uh,
Yeah, this is the sisterhood part at the end because when
mhm,
you show your shadow, you reflect my shadow. But if I am connected with my integrity, I can see and feel compassion about your process because it's my
mhm.
process too, you know? But
Yes.
yes,
What are your plans now? What are you planning to? How do you work with women and with men in shamanic astrology?
I'm working with both because many men are contact me recently, but all of them have the feminine energy is so open that
Mm,
it's very good to work with them.
Yes.
I'm giving sessions, but also I'm working in a retreat here, and it's the final honor of Aphrodite and all this love I receive here. I'm bringing people from Spanish speaking
Mm.
to visit our island and to walk in a ritual, sacred ritual, all the temples of Aphrodite around the island. And it's a self-connection with your Aphrodite archetype, and of course with your Venus, and it will be running in the period of alchemy. So something we will honor or we will give of offer here to the sun to burn it. So it's a
Mm.
period of transformation, but also to keep the wisdom of these last 9 months of the solar energy of Aphrodite.
I'm really happy that you're doing it because I remember one of our conversations was that this land, Cyprus, is ready to become a spiritual destination for those seeking connection with their waters, their beauty, their inner wisdom. And yeah, we're having this conversation. I'm so happy that you're doing it, that you're raising the vibrations of the island this way, that you're honoring your path. So yeah, I wish you all the best. And thank you so much for being here. And if you would like to share something before we close, is there anything last
No,
that
I
you would
think
like
all
to add?
is, I think I say everything. And in case somebody have questions about the cycle, the Venus, well, can contact me, and I'm very open to speak about.
Amazing.
If this episode inspired or helped you in any way, please share it with your loved ones and help us reach more women. You can also write your favorite quote from this episode on your Instagram story and tag us at Aphrodite Priestess and at Eleni Soul. This way, not only we connect with each other, but we also work together in spreading her story in history. It matters. Thank you so much. See you in the next episode. Much love.